All right.
What's going on, good people?
Welcome to another edition of Love
And
and
business.
Business.
Inside.
Yes. And we like to talk about love and business.
And business.
Yes. It has been a
Those are-
long time coming.
I know, right? 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yeah.
What up, Rodney?
What's going on?
Arsenal,
Yeah.
strong in the Lord.
Strong in the Lord and the power.
Strong in the
might.
Lord.
Say that then. Say that
Yes.
then. Say it with your chest.
Man, we have been missing the podcast.
No doubt.
So much so that Lemoyne can't figure out how to fix his microphone.
Well,
today.
I just want to slide it a little
I did
bit.
use it the other day, so
Yeah,
maybe
I
it's fit for me.
Yeah, I wasn't going.
I didn't change nothing though. I just scooted it over.
I
so.
got you. I wasn't gonna put you under the bus. I'm glad you didn't miss it.
Hey, we need y'all to do us a favor. We need you to hit the share button. We need you to tag your friends, tell them to come and hang out with us because we're about to have a really good time.
Hey.
Tell us where you're watching from.
Hey, and yeah, tell us where you're watching from. Let us know. But listen, I want to jump it off like this right here.
What up, Quest?
Yeah, Q Jeezy. Listen, so I came in the house today and I see this bowl of like oranges and apples.
Don't talk about my grandma's bowl.
Kisses and walnuts and pecans. You know, I mean, it's just an assortment of you know, like I'm like,
Don't
man, this
talk
is
about my grandma's bowl.
This is now granted.
This is my grandmama bowl. Tread lightly.
You tend to see them in grandma houses. So that's what I'm like. I don't know if you know what I'm saying if we just getting old now. Like, what do y'all? What do y'all?
We're not
know?
getting
like,
old.
I now know like this is a sign that it's Christmas.
Thank you, Jaleesa. Tell them. Wait a minute now. You do not.
Hey, no, my grandma had the same bowl.
It's my grandmama bowl.
She still got it. I'm gonna rob the chocolate out of it, and she go have them candy canes hanging on the side of it. That's about the only thing you missing.
I have peppermints in there.
No, you gotta have a candy cane. You can get peppermints year round.
For some reason, they didn't have regular candy canes in none of the stores. I went to multiple stores to put this bowl together, but this is my grandmama bowl. So you don't talk about my grandmama bowl. We're not finna start the show talking about my grandmama bowl.
I'm just saying the fact that it was kind of in, you know, like now I know for sure that it's Christmas, right? What is something that you guys do that you know is Christmas? I just didn't expect your grandmama bowl to be in my house. Because it ain't never quite made its way to my house. But I see, you know what I'm saying, as time go on, I guess, you know, we'll be, you know, maybe, you know, fixing the grandmama bowl.
I thought that it would be a really good, you know, memory of my grandmother. You know, it's the start of the Christmas season here.
It is.
And
everywhere,
you know, I don't know. I saw a picture of one of those bowls on Facebook.
Okay,
and it immediately made me think of my grandma.
Right back there. Okay,
and every time it was time for Christmas, my grandmama was gonna have one of them bowls, and she was gonna have one of them nasty fruit cakes on the counter in the kitchen.
Them fruit cakes can go. I don't know where they even derive.
They can go to the same place that candy corn came from. Just go back. I don't even care.
Oh, y'all some fruitcake eaters? You know,
yeah, nobody like no fruitcake.
I don't even understand.
The only person like fruitcake was my grandmama. Nobody else. But you can send them candy corn and fruitcake back home wherever. That shouldn't even be a part of Jesus' birthday.
You give fruitcake to people you really don't like. Like, are you just like
they like bricks? It's like a brick.
I don't know, man. I never understood it. Like you can get them in the little containers or something. I ain't never even seen nobody cook a fruitcake.
I don't even know how it's made. I think they just take all the trash left over from stuff and put it in there. Same way as some people were putting out there, you know, them little candies that was all assorted, looking different colors.
Oh yeah.
And they was like shiny.
They ain't got no name on them.
I really think that them candies was made out of plastic. I think they was made out of plastic, and they just put them in there. I'm gonna try to show you a picture of them so you can see it. Somebody put it on
Kimberly Dennis, your aunt makes fruit cakes and gives them out.
She don't like none of them people.
I don't know what type of gift
she do not like them people.
That's the worst cake ever. I agree. Like, if you want me to go on a no sweet diet, surround me with fruitcake.
So, ain't nothing sweet about it.
I just won't even. I just pass that up. I'm talking about that's like some.
It's disgusting.
Survival food. You know what I'm saying? Like
there they go.
Oh yeah, them only have a name on it. Yeah,
No, they don't have no name on it. People's asking, do they still make them? I'm like, no, these little candies was made out of plastic. They probably found out they was giving people some kind of disease or something.
Exactly, AB.
Stop selling them.
They look like the strawberry deal. But I'm just, what do y'all do for Christmas? Like what is the signal to your whole household, your whole family?
He said, why I call it cake? I don't know why you call it cake.
I don't know. But what does that look like for y'all? Like tell me something that y'all do. You put the wreath on the door, do you start playing the Temptations? I think every black household I know got to play the Temptations Silent Night at some point.
Oh, I put it in my story today with my grandmama bowl.
Yeah, see, in my mind.
You know what? The name of today's episode is My Grandmama Bowl.
My Grandmama Bowl.
They gonna have
bowl. You may have to get you because you got it in like a little nice. It's like, hey, that's a nice little dish, and instead of like the clear, the glass one, Yeah, with all the
my grandmama had it in like a little plastic like bowl. I mean, I don't have none of that stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
I used what I had.
I got you.
The concept is the same.
Well, you know what? You go probably have to go to like a thrift store.
I'm not.
And find you one of them.
This is the tradition being carried on. Yes. This is the 2023 version.
Okay.
And you talk about traditions. We put up a whole Christmas tree and ain't plugged it up since.
We let it stay on for 2 days.
And it ain't been on since. So I'm trying to figure out what's the whole point of putting the Christmas tree up. Then you put a big old wreath up there at the very, very top, and then didn't put the 2 wreaths that we got for the front door.
You sure right.
Yeah. So we pretty much piecemeal Christmas around here.
Well, it ain't over yet, but putting up our Christmas tree now is
that girl say she could smell her grandma's house when I posted that bowl.
I'm telling you, we be 2 days before Christmas putting up a Christmas tree. That's what I want to say. I have to focus to say Christmas.
Well, I hope you say Christmas. Because if you start saying Christmas, I'm gonna turn your mic off.
Yeah. Like, hey, he said, hey, he go be there. They got all the Christmas lights up, bro. Them Christmas lights is a beast. My Christmas lights when I was growing up, like they kind of like stayed on the house. You know what I mean?
The whole year.
Yeah, for a good bit of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that used to happen to us when my daddy would put up Christmas lights, but he ain't done that in decades. So
is everybody decorating? I mean, is everybody decorating? I don't know. It's like people get the spotlight with the little twirly things.
Yeah, they got laser lights now. You can just put one box in the middle and just point it towards your house and it'll light your whole house.
Man, my stepdad sent me a picture of the house that he put him. He was proud of them lights, but I promise it looked like a little highlighter than hit it.
Ain't nothing matching it.
Man,
I know.
But they ain't got Jesus manger in there. Nothing. We used to have a whole little nativity scene out there. My grandma,
Yeah, we're not doing that.
We'd be raking up straw around the pine tree.
August, so we're not doing it.
I don't think the manger done made it this far.
No, it feels good to be back on a Thursday. First of all, our kids have literally like taken over our schedule, and we trying to get it back.
Yeah,
some kind of way we trying to get it back, but we never thought, never day in my life that I think I was gonna be a soccer mom. Only thing we missing now is a minivan, and I refuse.
I didn't know soccer was played in the winter. Like I didn't know that was deemed as winter. I didn't know at all. Like football
because in the fall. Have never been interested in soccer.
That's what I'm saying. Now I'm out here trying to figure out what the right
we
wing
have
do.
Absolutely no clue what is happening at these soccer games. And the sad part about it is we just stand there and look. I have never been so blank.
Well,
at a sport.
Now Crystal is blank. Now fair foul. My daughter get in the game last night. She kicked the ball. Now she ain't kick it to score. She just made contact with the ball. I cheered.
Lamorne cheered as if the girl had made a score.
I cheered.
And I looked at him and said, "Is this what we doing?"
And I'm like, man, look, I don't know how many opportunities
it was just a kick. Like, I mean, her foot literally made contact with the ball.
That's a win.
And Lamorne was like, "Yes, let's go, Caitlin." And I was like, "This is so embarrassing."
That's a win, man.
Okay.
Hey, I gotta take it where I can get it.
If you guys could have seen the level of cheer that took place.
Kick it, baby. There you go. I'm telling you.
Just to kick, like I'm saying, like she literally just kicked the ball to another teammate. Like it wasn't even, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
that's almost like cheering when they hike the ball for football. You know what I'm saying?
If
like
they successfully hike it, that's good. She successfully kicked it and it made
so
it to the team, to the other team members. I mean, hey, I'm in that joint.
That's exactly what it was. It was a participation award cheer.
Listen,
because he didn't know nothing else to to cheer for. And
man, that team barely even shoot at the goal.
Yeah,
you know
it was
mean?
sixth grade, right? And so, I mean, the kids they really didn't even start kicking towards the goal until like the last 3-4 minutes of the game, and it's an hour-long game. And so I guess he just found whatever moment that he could find to
the first cheer. One, and I would have cheered for everyone that followed.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it was a dope assist. That's all I'm saying. It was a dope assist.
If this had been recorded and we could play this, I'm just letting y'all know, y'all would be rolling over laughing at the level of cheer.
Listen, I cheered at the right moment. It wasn't like I was on that Coming to America, like a Coming to America moment when he cheering and it's halftime. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm still embarrassed. I don't know, man. It was weird. It was because it was such a non-cheerable moment. It scared me. When I, you know what I'm saying? He goes, yes. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm thinking she had scored. Like, that was the level of cheer that he had. Man, like, she had just scored a goal.
It's a level 10 for me.
Yeah.
And they straight up.
Indie face. That is exactly how he
straight up.
That's exactly how he was. Indie face. Indie face.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm like,
talking about,
my God.
Yeah, man. But it'd be cold out there. It'd be cold out there.
It was cold. Yes, Karen, it was a non-cheerable moment.
It was not.
It was. And everybody else knew.
I don't care what y'all. Hey, my baby got in the game and she made contact with the ball. I have seen scenarios where she did not make contact with the ball.
I understand.
I'm excited that she made contact with the ball and it went in the direction in which she was kicking it.
Okay.
That's a cheerable moment. Now, it may not be 2 weeks from now because, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to get better and better and better. But yesterday, man, you go get my cheer all day. You go get my praise.
I was stunned. Okay. I just felt like, man, if you gonna do this the whole game, I'm gonna go sit by the car.
Well, you might well go ahead and hit your chirp chirp. You might well go ahead and unlock your car door.
Yeah. I ain't finna be one of them, I was just trying to be quiet because I don't understand the sport. And so I'm sitting, observing the majority of the game, trying to figure out, why they doing this or, what positions do what.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It's a lot of rules to soccer.
Because I don't understand it. I do know that you kick the ball. I don't know how positions are played. I don't know what the right wing does. It seems like whoever in the middle.
At least he didn't yell touchdown.
Exactly. I wanted to throw the field goal sign up, though. I'm like, hey, field goal, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Something. But I don't understand it. So I did try to Google it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, what's this? And I'm like, Caitlin, why are you not attacking the ball? Like, go after the ball. She's like, well,
Quit said it's basically basketball with your feet.
Yeah.
It don't feel like that to me.
She did call it dribbling. She did call it dribbling.
The terminology is, to me, is just way off because it's nothing. You don't dribble anything in soccer. Not after, you know what I'm saying? I played basketball. I'm like, a dribble happens with your hands. You can't use your hands in soccer. So it's just so much stuff in our brains that we need to undo. And I'm sure by the time we understand, it's going to be the end of the season. So either way, we're out here. We're participating. We're going to the games. We got our little lawn chairs.
3 of them.
And, we bring our little bottles and everything. We're out there. Like I said, the only thing literally is missing, is a minivan. I want to go get a sports car just to make sure that I don't fall into the
I'm just saying, man. Listen, that sliding door be clutch at Walmart though. I ain't gonna lie. We rented a minivan like for vacation or something.
Our kids are old enough to shut their own doors now.
Hey, them sliding, and they good on gas mile. I ain't tripping. I ain't gonna drive it, but I'm gonna
so who would drive it?
I'm gonna let you drive it.
I just said that I don't want a minivan.
That ain't. It's practicality.
Oh, okay.
It's practicality. You can get a sports car and a minivan, but I know, you know what I'm saying? Dante was go get that minivan, you know what I'm saying? But
Dante said he was gonna get a minivan for his wife. And I made it very clear in that moment that I don't want no minivan. But Dante sold that minivan like he was strong.
They got built-in vacuum, you got TVs in the headrest, you know what I mean? You got all that luggage space, you lay down them seats,
We straight.
Yeah,
we straight.
I'm just saying,
that man said, "Don't sleep on the Honda Odyssey."
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
y'all dads is
You
something
probably
special.
get about 33 miles to the gallon.
All right, change the subject.
You know?
Let's go somewhere else. Can we go somewhere else?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Y'all didn't tell me what y'all do for Christmas. Y'all didn't say like what do y'all do for
didn't
Christmas?
somebody put something in the comments? We was too busy talking.
I ain't see it. I hope y'all done started Christmas shopping or done your Christmas shopping or whatever. Don't forget about the cold plunge.
Yes, I was gonna tell you we needed to mention that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the links and stuff in the comments, but we did start a Christmas cold plunge charity challenge. Shout out to everybody that joined the challenge.
Yeah.
I'm still out here in these streets cold plunging almost every single day. We are raising money for my classmate who unfortunately was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year, and so she's working to find a permanent home. In addition to take cancer treatments, and she's not able to work currently, and so I set a goal for us to raise $10,000 for her. So I asked that if you have $1, $2, $3, whatever you got, I'm asking that you donate to that fund. I'm looking now to see if I can put it. I'm gonna put it in the comments so that anybody that wants to join the group, and listen, I get it. Everybody don't like cold plunging, blah blah blah, but we're gonna make ourselves uncomfortable for a good cause. You don't have to completely submerge your body in a bucket of water if you don't want to, but you can dip your hand in a bucket of cold ice water. You can take a cold plunge bath if you want. You can take a 30-second cold shower, whatever you want to do to be able to participate. But I'm just asking that that you join the challenge with us. It's fun, but there's a lot of healthy benefits to cold plunging, which is why I figured I would combine the two, just so that people could see that there are some benefits there. It helps with inflammation. It gives you that nice little jolt of energy that you need first thing in the morning if you do cold plunging in the morning. So it's just a lot of benefits of cold plunging, but I really wanted to do it so I could help my classmate. And I haven't checked it in a while. I know we were a little over 3,000 the last time that I checked the donations. Okay. So I'm just asking that we get up to $10,000 by, I think December the 22nd is the deadline that we set for it. And I'm going to get the Christmas wish list for her kids so that we can get something for them as well. So I do ask that if you have the ability to donate, please do.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal cause. I mean, but at the end of the day, even if you don't jump in the cold plunge or you don't take a cold shower, hey, donate some of your cold cash.
There you go. Look at you coming up with a nice little segue there.
Let's be a blessing to somebody else. And I see Questum that they're going to Jamaica. Which was the opposite of what we did last year, but it sounds like a good trip. And then Karen, they're going on a family trip. Last year we went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
We did
right after Christmas. We left on the 26th, was it?
Mm-hmm. And crazy part about it is we booked it the week before.
Yeah, we did. But it was a good trip, or whatnot. But it's some stuff that you probably should be afraid of, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say that, because skiing and trying to learn how to ski. I mean, we paid for private lessons or whatnot, and we out there trying to make pizza slices and triangles, and I'm out there. I'm in some Wranglers. I mean, in some Levi's.
Yeah, he was the countryest looking skier I have ever seen.
Man. I got on
in my
7 layers and Levi's and snow and
absolutely
blue jeans.
Unbelievable. Why he chose jeans to go skiing in, I don't know, but I know his pants weighed about 700 pounds. By the time he got back to the hotel,
but it was so it was so cold it really wasn't melting on my pants. You know what I mean? It was. You had snow caked up in all the little cracks and stuff like that. But in doing that, we had some fun.
Yeah, we did.
We had some fun, right? But I realized there's some stuff that we should be afraid of, right? It's some stuff our body just naturally tells us, don't go to the top of that mountain and try to ski down because you see this little 6-year-old doing it.
I swear I saw some little 6-year-olds going down there like some professionals.
Man, I'm talking about
uninterested.
I'm like, man, what are these cats doing? Were they born on the snow? But hey, listen, they listen. I've been kissed by the sun, bro. That just ain't my deal.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really do believe is we do have some built-in mechanisms to help us protect ourselves, right? But over time, I think that we have, or in most instances, instances, I think that we use those in ways that we don't necessarily, we allow that fear to paralyze us in some things that we should be doing, but we're not doing, or that we don't do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think mentally, my body know, my skill set, hey, don't go to the top of that mountain and do that. But we'll use that same fear mechanism to stop us from doing something to enrich ourselves later on, just for the fear of losing out.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
But in one instance, it's a survival thing.
Mm-hmm.
In the other instance, it's not life or death, but it's more of a primitive thought, as I'm not going to get any more, or I'm not going to have enough if I use this to potentially invest in myself, or in whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Or a business opportunity, or whatever it is.
Did you just segue to the talents?
I did.
Oh, okay. Keep going.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
I was just making sure I was following with you.
It got a little, botching when you ask, you know what I'm saying? You just supposed to flow and feel it, you know what I'm saying?
I just have to know where we going at. All right.
You ain't got to know, just follow.
Okay.
Just follow. Well, that's it. Follow the leader. Okay.
Continue. If you had a thought, continue it. I'm here with you. I just wanted to make sure that we was on the same page, man. Because you had went from joke to serious. So I was just making sure that I was with you, you was with me.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'm
Segue. Yeah, I'm here.
No.
Continue.
So essentially, yeah. So essentially, in my thoughts, there are some things like, hey, if I see a snake, hey, I have a built-in mechanism that says, hey, you shouldn't really go over there and mess with that snake without your shotgun. Okay. Got that. But if there's an opportunity that says, hey, you should, purchase this property. But in your mind, you're thinking, but I only have, this little bit of bread. I only had this little bit of flour or meal left, and I don't want to invest in myself or anyone else around because this is all that I have left. Right? It starts to mutate into something that can be detrimental or tainted to you. And that's what Crystal was talking about a little earlier. She made a Facebook post talking about like the story in the Bible about the man with the talents, and she referenced the guy that buried the one talent that he had because he was afraid to lose it. Right. And fear, it does in a lot of instances, it controls us, right? We may not speed for fear, or we may not go to a certain event because of fear, or we may not do certain things because of fear, when in fact that same fear that protects us in those instances can be the same fear that cripples us in some instances where we could thrive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I just think the whole reason I even had the thought is because as I was walking this morning, I was just, pondering through the current, real estate deals that we were working on. And so, for those that don't know, we do invest in real estate when the season is right.
Yeah, because we did have some out of season.
When the season is right.
Woes here.
Yeah. And so we're in that season right now. And we had purchased the property a few weeks back. And we're now in the beginning stages of renovating that property. And then another property became available for us. And so, I was just walking, and we had actually put in an offer on the property, and they accepted the offer. And I woke up this morning to a message saying, hey, they accepted your offer on the property.
Yeah.
And so, I'm walking and I'm like, God, 2 properties at one time, and I immediately, it was like I had that moment, and then, instantly I was starting to snap out of it. But as I was snapping out of it, God decided that he would intervene, in my thought process, which I'm glad he did. And the very thing that he said to me was make good use of my talents. And so what he was doing was snatching me, and saying, hey, don't think that I'm not with you on this. You know what I'm saying? Like I I'm the one that told you to go forth in this, so of course, I'm going to provide for you, in this moment. And it's not that I'm afraid to do real estate. It was just, we were swiftly moving, and, it was unfamiliar. We've done projects before, but typically we're going to do one project at a time. And, the way that he's speaking right now is like, he has us at this accelerated rate. And I'm okay with it, but I just didn't realize, that in the back of my mind, I was trying to hold on, to my talents, so to speak. Like I was okay with, if I got, if I got 10 talents, I'll let one go.
Right.
And, what I'm saying?
And I think about that because even in my, like, I don't know if it's a poor way of thinking or not, right? But the truth be told, let's say if I purchase something, I'm thinking how many months, if nothing else came in, how many months could I afford to keep what I purchased? Right. So
heavy emphasis on I.
Yeah, heavy emphasis on I. And based on what I have now, right? So let's say, for instance, if my house note is $1,000, right? Then I may say, okay, well, all right, if I got 36,000 and I don't make another penny, then that's 3 years worth of my house note that I got, right? I know that I could provide and have a roof over, but the offset to that is I'm not going to touch a penny of that 36,000 except for to pay my house note.
Yeah, it's very simple thinking.
Right. That would be my thought process, right? Mm-hmm. Not the fact that, hey man, I could take this 36,000 and possibly do something else with it and continue to grow that money. You know what I mean? Or put it in a place where it can continue to grow, or invest in something, flip it, or whatever it may be. I'm only holding on to what I have. And
that's a poverty mindset.
That's a poverty mindset.
That's scarcity mindset.
Exactly.
And even after, experiencing things that have put us, far beyond, actually living in poverty, we have to recognize that sometimes there's residue. And it may not, for some people, it may show up, just as a blink, and then for other people, it may show up for long moments of time. And it's just super important that, if those thoughts show up, to, stagnate you from moving forward and whatever it is that you're doing, it's super important to recognize that, and I instantly recognized it, like, hold on now, you over here acting like, God ain't gonna provide, type deal. Right. Or like hey, he's telling you what to do. Just do what he's telling you to do.
Right.
And, obviously
rest will unfold, but I'm trying to map it out in my mind.
And it's not for us to map out. And the most beautiful thing that I realized in that process was that, first of all, God gave me the talent. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And here I was thinking about, okay, well, if we're doing a lot, well, what if I, mess this one up or miss this step or whatever the case. And the revelation in that was that, hey, he gave it to you. And whether you mess it up or not, he already knew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he still gave it to you.
Did you
Even if the outcome was going to be you were going to mess it up, he already knew.
Yeah.
And he still decided to give it to you. And for me, that was, super freeing, because I'm like, he's giving us the opportunity, to invest the talents. And I think, relating to the story in the Bible, where he's given, each man a different level of talent. It wasn't about how many he gave. It was about how well did you manage what I gave.
Yeah.
And for me, I want to make sure that when I get to meet the Father, that he said, you manage my talents well.
Yeah.
And what I've also realized is the better we manage, the more we get access to manage.
Yeah. And that's essentially what it boils down to, right? Because he took it from the one and gave it to the others.
Because he said, hey, y'all out here doing what I told you to do back in Genesis. Y'all multiplied.
Yeah.
So thank you for following instructions. Here goes some more.
But if you feel like you are the sustainer,
it's a problem.
Then you're not going. It makes it a little bit harder to move, because you're thinking, hey, this is all on me, when it's really not. The only thing on you is the obedience.
That's it. And I got super free in knowing that, I'm getting access to this because God is my Father.
Yeah.
And he has, an infinite amount of resources to be able to give to us. I just need to focus on managing what he's given me well. After that, I'm not even concerned with getting more of it. I'm just saying, let me be a good steward, of where I am now.
Yeah.
And it was also a great aha, because, initially we did do, one property at a time. And now, he's given us access to have multiple properties at a time.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe we've managed well. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I'm having to think myself through this process as he is pruning me inside of the situation. And it was beautiful to me because I started to feel, more and more confident, in the process of it. So as I was going through today, now I'm confidently making these phone calls and, quickly making these decisions, in full blown confidence that, hey, God is my source in this.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty for me to be able to do business that way. As a kingdom entrepreneur, it's exciting, that God is my boss in this situation. I just get to, move whatever chess pieces it is that he says move, but it's just exciting to, to watch it unfold.
Y'all put God as my boss in the chat.
That's it.
God is my boss. Like, that's dope right there. Like, legit. I hadn't thought about that. I definitely, see or hear people say God the Father, God the provider, or whatnot.
Oh, he is my father.
Yeah, God is the boss.
But I would much rather he be my CEO than me.
I agree with that.
Absolutely, I would prefer. Yeah,
God is my boss. Like, legit, man. That's what it is. But you move with a different level of confidence and not so much burdensomeness, so to speak.
This feels so free. Like I've never, and we don't mind, sharing like what it is that we do, but we also don't want to, share to the point where you think that whatever you're doing is not enough because it's not the same.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So sometimes we don't just, like 100% openly share all of the information because number one, we know we don't brag, but we want to make sure that people can see themselves inside of the situation or the story. Right. So even if if your first, thing may be a network marketing something, or you wrote your first book, or, you were opening up your first store, or you got an online, shop or something like that, like whatever your case may be, we just want the information to be, relatable, and we want to be transparent enough to where, there's an understanding. But, inside of where we are right now, like literally I go, the first property that we get, I'm shaking in my boots because I'm at an auction sale.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm in there, doing a little bid or whatever. And when I find out that I win this property, I'm sitting in there in my hands. After I finish, my hands is like this. Now, I bought real estate before, but I had never bought a house in 30 seconds. I had never bought a house in 30 seconds. And so here we are now. After that experience and then prepping, to proceed in that, we didn't get a, opportunity for. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that, and another thing on that is you were nervous there, but the truth of the matter is also like nobody else was in the room that looked like you.
No,
it was
different.
Well, I know, but that's so many. That's some of those like components to the whole strategy that a lot of times we just don't take advantage of. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't
necessarily know that it exists, that way, or that it could be. Like I never, I've always thought that I was supposed to be, wealthy, right? To some extent. Like I didn't know how it was going to take place, but I knew, but I never thought that I would go somewhere and purchase a house in 30 seconds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know the details of it, but I just knew, what I'm saying, in my heart that it was something, that I was supposed to be doing and that I would accumulate wealth some type of way. Now, obviously, we're doing it in different arenas, but, I never, I didn't have a dream or anything. I just knew, that God gave me specific instructions, for this season, and real estate was one of them.
I know marrying me wasn't a part of the strategy, wasn't a part of the wealth strategy, but
anyway. And so as I'm navigating through following the instructions, and I think that that's what's super important as well as we're talking about these talents. It's important that we follow God's instructions. And I'm on this thing now where I have this daily thing that I read, and a part of it says, when I receive the plan, I'm going to act on that plan immediately and precisely as soon as I receive it. And so I recite that every day because, I knew that God had gave me the strategy to do real estate, but I didn't know in what arena, right? Like I didn't know if I was supposed to, look online and purchase a property, or, go to an auction and purchase a property, or, I don't know how in this particular season, but my goal and objective was to just, hey, however I receive this plan, as soon as I receive it, I'm going to act on it immediately.
Yeah. And I was talking to one of the elders of the church early this morning. I called him. It was just before 8 o'clock, about 7 minutes to 8 or so, because I know the elders be up praying in the morning before the dude.
Rodney, he talking about you, man.
While the dude is on
just call his name. He on here all in the comments. He talking about you, Rodney. Finish your statement.
But I was sharing with him how you were talking to me the other day, and you were saying how we'll want God to tell us, okay, it's real estate, and then he'll tell us the play, but don't necessarily lay out the plan. So he'll say real estate, saying like, hey, you should be in real estate type deal. You should be in real estate, but then we don't say, well, how? You know what I'm saying? We don't ask the question. We just, okay, you should be in real estate now. Okay, God, thanks for letting me know this the area I should be in. But he didn't say how you should be in it. Right? Should you be in it as an investor? Should you be in it as a landlord? Should you be in it as a banker to somebody else? Like, how should you be in it? Like, what is the play to get there? And I think that's where a lot of times, we have fumbled, right? To be honest, because I believe that real estate is the play, or is a part of the play, a big part of it. But how you enter it is a whole nother thing.
It's different ways.
Yeah, how you want to strategize and give.
We could have been investor on somebody else's project, like any kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, ask that question. Okay, well, God, this is you want me to go to Walmart. Now what? You want me to buy a house. Now what? Now, how do I buy it? Now, what am I going to use to do this? Am I financing it? Am I paying cash for it? Like, am I bringing in some other investors? Because I may have to, it may be a blessing to somebody else. You just don't know. So I think the important part too is to ask that. Okay, now, how you want me to do this?
Yeah, I really think that's what this particular season is about, is us being trained as business owners to, listen. You know what I'm saying? And then understand for the next steps. And as I'm seeking, different people that are in my circle, they're giving me, information here or there that helps me to, recognize I went back into default. I know it all business owner mode,
And that be the default. Part of it is part of the default could be fear. A lot of times we slip into fear as a default, right? Because it's self-preservation. I don't want to, I'm scared, I'm nervous, I don't want to do that.
Well, for me, to be honest here, fear is probably secondary. For me, it's self-reliance.
I was just going to say, I was going to call it arrogance.
To God, it may seem arrogant,
exactly,
you know what I'm saying? But
like
for me, it's self-reliance. Not in a sense,
Maybe
it would be perceived as that way, but I'm not feeling like, I'm about to do this. I got this type deal. It's just more so of, I've done this before. I know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like baking a cake, you know what I'm saying? Like once you bake the cake a few times, you may not look back at the recipe. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's where I was going to in default mode, saying, okay, I've done this before, you know what I'm saying? Okay. And then follow the steps. And so as a kingdom entrepreneur, obviously we're trying to transition how we think, and how we navigate and how we move. And that's different because we've done business in, all facets. But what I did here, probably around about this time last year, was that everything that we've done up until this point was by our own hand.
Yeah.
And, God was then trying to transition me to understand that I can do a whole lot more, a whole lot faster, and a whole lot grander if I follow his plan.
Yeah.
And so, I would say that this entire year has been me learning what that means. You know what I'm saying? Me trying to hear his voice clear or
you
seeking.
Took off like 3 months in the beginning of the year, didn't it?
Why you gotta go?
It took out like 3 months or so. I mean, I know, but I know you were trying to hear. I know you were here. You were tuning yourself up. You know what I'm saying, to make sure. So yeah.
What I will say,
90-day sabbatical,
is that as I have stripped myself, and am still working to strip myself of Jaleesa say, indeed, nobody acts.
I'm talking about a strong.
I always take
days.
sabbaticals, and that's healthy for me.
Yeah,
and so you guys can say whatever it is that you want, but I'm gonna get my rest, because even the Lord rested.
That was a hibernation, but I got you. Yeah,
even the Lord rested. But what I'm saying is, that time was needed. Okay, but now that I've hit the reset button, and I'm hearing clearer. I like this side better you know what I'm saying, than the other side. Because I kept saying, well, God, you said you was going to give us this stuff with no sorrow. And sometimes I be having a little sorrow, you know,
and add no burden to it.
Yeah. And now, you know what I'm saying, in this phase, as I say every day, you know what I'm saying, that I'm going to stand on God's word, you know, and I'm going to believe his promises until they come to pass. And, you know, I'm awaiting this plan to come to me. And when it does, I'm going to act on it immediately. Yeah. And the thing that I'm more focused on is my relationship with him and studying the word.
Yeah.
That part, you know what I'm saying, for me, it makes everything else easy. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's your main focus point.
That's my only focal point is I'm out here listening. You know what I'm saying? What it is that you got to say. And the whole reason why we ended up at the auction was because I had heard it 3 times.
Yeah.
We had been before, but when we went before, we were most definitely intimidated. And we had buried every talent that we had 7 feet deep under the ground.
I bid on something. I was like 5,000, and my heart was beating. I'm talking about my heart. You'd have thought I was driving a race car.
Yeah, you was sweaty, man. I remember that. I remember you. I think you even asked me to touch your hand or something. It was just like a water faucet pouring off you.
I'm talking about I was sweating. 5,000, 500, 6,000, okay.
And then quiet.
Yeah,
like don't worry about it. We don't really want that.
Yeah, I just didn't want it to go for that cheap.
You know what I'm saying? What I really think is cool about it is, you know, is God allowed us to experience that then, and then, you know, he brought it back to us again and gave us an opportunity. And because of course after that, then we started building our muscle. We started putting our talents out there, saying, well, let's try this and let's try that and let's try this, you know. And I think that's probably you know, what I would say somebody should, if nothing else that you get out of the episode, is that whatever talents that you have, whether you have 1 or 20 or 50 talents, God is just saying, I trusted you with this and you decided that you were going to sit on it. And I, for one, you know, don't want to be lazy. You know, I don't want to not put my hand to, you know, whatever it is that he's telling me to put my hand to. And what's even more beautiful about it is when you start using the talents in the way that he says, it really does come with no sorrow.
Right. Man, I was thinking back when you start saying that, when you say what's in your hands, when you did that, I don't know who challenged you guys to do that. Maybe LaShawn, but what's in your hand? You start making those cakes and things like that.
Oh, that was Sean when we did it was some kind of, I think it was around this time of year. It was like some kind of money challenge.
Yeah, it was like a Christmas type deal. But you know, the fact of the matter is, it may not be a real estate property for you today. It may be making fruitcakes.
No,
you know, it may be making candy apples. It may be just sharing the love.
I made close to $1,000 with those those cakes in like a matter of a week and a half.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter what it is, it's how you steward it. You know what I mean? Because again, it could be the love, it could be, you know, the joy that you have, the gift of laughter. It could be, again, you making fruit cakes, or you just, you know, sharing a warm story with someone. You know what I'm saying? But if God gave you the gift and the talent to be able to do that, then share it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where because I don't want to just pigeonhole this thing or pigeonhole God to only reference this about a financial component. You know what I mean? This is something that's, in my opinion, is more spiritually deep, because as you stated, your goal and objective is to please God. You know what I'm saying? And to follow instructions in that way. And then now, hey, and he said all these things will be added to you, right? Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added to you. And I think he knows that we want all of these things. That's why he said it. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't just say, seek ye first the kingdom of God. He said, seek ye first the kingdom of God. And then he told us, I know you're a little selfish. I know you want something in it for you. All of these things coming with it. And I got the gravy train coming behind it, but you got to follow your boy first. You know what I'm saying? You got to come on with the come on.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that's where I'm settled. And I like it out here in this space. Like, I'm telling you, this thing right here feels better than good. You know, it feels even better to wake up and see that you didn't got a whole nother, you know, property added to your portfolio because you follow it. You know, you follow it.
Hallelujah, they accepted the offer.
I know. That's our realtor texted us that he texted late last night. We was knocked out, and I woke up this morning. The text message said, "Hallelujah, they accepted our offer." I said, "Look at this faith we out here building in these streets." You know, but it's amazing because, you know what I'm saying, I'm listening. You know, and then, you know, laying out the plan that I feel like we're hearing. Yeah. And I'm like, man, this is like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in shock and awe, and I'm loving it because we're doing business in a completely different way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we have literally done business where we are, hey, I'm in there from sun up to sundown. My brain power is on 1,000. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, especially after, thank God for the Soul Shift Inner Circle community where we did the Prosper Well Challenge back in October. We're actually still continuing it. But for the entire month of October, we did the Daniel fast and all. And I've kind of been on this little, deal now where I'm deciding that, my temple matters, to me because it matters to God. And so I have like this high level of mental clarity, I'm just feeling good, and then I'm hearing better. And in this phase, not only it's just like total prosperity is what I feel. You know what I'm saying? Whereas before, you gotta do a lot of things to get a lot of things. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm out here sleeping like a baby. Well, you can tell me thanks for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm, what I'm saying? I'm hearing instructions. I'm moving on those instructions, and I'm seeing swift results. Mm-hmm. I don't want to no other way. I only want to do it, the way that God instructs. That's the way. That's it. That's the way I want it. I think that's a beautiful place to be. I'm with you. And AB, if God instruct Dante to make them fruit cakes, hey, let him do it. But I know if Dante make a fruit cake, he go follow every instruction that it is to the T. I ain't buying that one. I might try it for sure if Dante make. No, it's gonna be whatever the best of it. Now it still might be nasty, but it might be the best of whatever it is. Right? Pass that cup for me. I don't want no fruit cup. I was only gonna buy the fruit cup to just kind of sit it next to our fruit bowl as like a memory or a memorial for my grandmama. Because wasn't nobody here gonna eat it. We was gonna go in the trash. Because who eats fruitcakes? Nobody. Exactly. So I think Mitty Lee was the last person that I've ever known in my life to eat. She legit ate them? Bruh. Take that little butter knife and slice a little piece off of there almost every day. I just used to buy them little Whitman's candies. You know what I'm saying? That was, I sent her that. I won grandma over early. Sent her them Whitman's candies. I used to work at Walgreens. I seen them in there. I sent them in the mail priority. No, beet juice is good for me. Fruitcakes are disgusting, and I'm almost certain that they're not good for you. Full of sugar. She said that I said the same thing about beet juice. Please. Yeah, please. I don't know. Please. I drink dirt any day. It's earthy. Before I eat a fruitcake. Don't say dirt. It's earthy. Okay. It's earthy. Whatever. I love it now, so it doesn't matter. But I'm definitely not going down that train for no nasty fruitcake. Anyway, what was we talking about? Because you took us way far there on some fruitcakes. You went back. I just, what I'm saying, I just know if Dante put his hands to the plow on the fruitcake, it's gonna be what it is. Back to the talents. Yeah. Go back there. That's what he was at. Yeah, he was just talking. Yeah. Oh, you were saying that Dante was going to use his talent, right? You of making fruitcakes. It's easy for you. You sleep well. You gave God all the credit for you sleeping well. Yeah, and then you interjected with the fruitcakes. Right. So you were just saying, well, take it away, Lamar. No, go ahead. Take it away. I don't even have a thought on it anymore. I just hope that that our listeners understand the point that we all have something, right? Absolutely. We've all been given an instruction or a responsibility, to do something. And a lot of times we sit on it. We don't act on it because we think about our thinking. We get caught up in ourselves. We get caught up in other people's opinions. We get afraid because we don't know the next step and this step. And for me, I'm realizing that it doesn't matter that I don't know step number 10. Yeah. I know step number 1. And a lot of people are looking for like these full drawn out plans. And the reality is a lot of times when we know more than what we need to know, we mess it up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, or we get, like you said, arrogant, or we get complacent, or then we drag our feet, and not move because we're like, oh, well, I know, and that's not the way that, you know, God wants to operate with us. You know what I'm saying? He gives us these pieces and parts to the puzzle, and it's our responsibility to be good stewards of the pieces that we do have. Like, okay, if I ain't got nothing but the corners, Lord, I'm finna put these corners together as quickly as I possibly can, make sure they in the right space, you know, and then when you give me more pieces, I'm looking to, you know, move more and more into the direction of completing this puzzle. But a lot of people don't even want to go to the start line.
Like,
you know,
ain't got all the pieces.
Yeah, because they like, all right, it's a 500 piece puzzle. You got 10 pieces and you tripping. Instead of being grateful, you know, for the 10 pieces and working as diligent as you can to put those pieces in the right place. And I think that was the mindset that I took of it, you know, earlier today as I'm walking and I'm listening to this. I'm like, man, you know, I don't need to know, you know, all the pieces and parts. I just know, you know, we've just gotten access to some amazing opportunities in a short window of time.
Yeah.
And I'm not about to allow that to, you know, get me all out of whack. I'm still going to stay focused. Okay, here's my list of things. Okay, what do I need to do next? Okay, who else do I need to, you know, contact regarding this? Okay, what other people do you want to, you know, bring in with this? Like, what conversations do we need to have? Right? Like, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not being self-reliant in the process, but continuing to go back and forth to God, you know, inside of the process
as you do it. And when you was talking about that, it made me think about like, you know, you fix a kid plate or something like that, and you be like, hey, no, I ain't giving you a whole lot until you finish what's on your plate.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not about to just load you up with, you know, all this food and then you play over it. And the next thing you know, it's in the garbage. You know what I mean? And I think that that's kind of how, you know, how this works a little bit from a spiritual perspective, or from a you know, from a heavenly, right? Hey, yeah, let me see where we at with this one. You know, and then, you know, as you manage this, as you know, as you continue to grow in this, you know, you manage this well, then I can do that. Because he said, don't despise small beginnings. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you be faithful over a few, I'll make you rule over many. That's what the book said. That ain't from the book of Lemoyne. That's from the book, right? So I'm saying, like,
want the page.
Yeah, when you put all that together, it just continues to show, like, hey, yeah, it may be money, it may be real estate, it may be, again, it may be love, it may be peace, it may be a story, it may be you just being able to comfort somebody in the time that they may be struggling with something. You know, I don't know what it is, but whatever he's giving you, you know what I mean? I think he's giving everyone a measure of something. Then, hey, as you exercise that, I truly believe that it'll continue to expand in a way that makes room for you, because your gifts will make room for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just, I don't know. I've seen it a lot of times where I can see that people, you know, have access to do more, to be more, to have more. And they literally are just sitting, staring, you know, and I can't say that I've, you know, been one to have like concrete feet, you know, like usually if I see something, you know, I'll at least start to make the first or, you know, the second step or so, you know, and then I'll try to, you know, understand what the next pieces and parts are.
Yeah, she'll build a plane on the way on while she's flying.
I will, you know, but in this season though, even though I'm okay with that, I'm wanting to build, you know, the parts of that plane that, you know, God is saying build at that, you know, at that particular time. And I really believe that if we can shift our mindset into knowing that we aren't in control, right? We don't have all the answers, and we may not get it all right, you know, all the time. But I think the freeness comes in when you have completely surrendered, when you have just completely let go and, you know, just said, you know what? Hey, God, you gave me this. What do you want me to do with it? How do you want me to perform? You know, where do you want me to go? What relationships, you know, do you want me to build? What conversations do you want me to have? Where most of the time we get so stagnant is because we really are stuck in self-reliance. We really are thinking about ourselves. We're thinking about what we can do and how we can, you know, fix this. Or you're thinking, oh, well, I have such limited resources, right? We're typically thinking the complete negative aspect of everything.
Right.
When if we would just, you know, default to saying, I have access to what I have access to because God trusted me with it. And so, hey, God, even if I don't necessarily know the direction that you want me to go with this talent, I'm gonna at least go in the direction that I think is right. And if it's not right, put a wall there for me, slam the door for me, or make me feel, some type of way. But a lot of times we don't even want to go and do that. You know what I'm saying? We just I'm just gonna sit here. And just I'm gonna just be quiet. I'm gonna just not go multiply. I'm just not gonna go subdue or have dominion in any field, right? I'm gonna just sit here and then talk about how woe is me, and well, I don't know how to own a business, or well, I don't know how to do real estate. Well, I don't know how to do an online store, but you know how to shop online. You know how to talk about everybody else's business, right? Like it's a lot of stuff that you can do that can probably be utilized as a talent, right? Yeah. But our brains aren't focused on that. We're literally focusing 100% on the negative. That's what they were talking about at the thing at the school, the other day is how, the majority of our thoughts are negative, and we have to work so hard to overcome those things. And so for me, I'm just trying to live in the freedom of knowing, that God is my Father, right? He's the source. And any resource that I have was given by him. That's right, Rodney. We gonna trust God, but I feel like a lot of times, or at least what I'm starting to see is that, my gap was in other spaces, being self-reliant and navigating on my own. It was because I wasn't communing with him to the level of which I needed to. And as a believer and a entrepreneur, when you marry those two things together, we have to spend just as much time, in the word and with God as we do in our businesses. Yeah. Right. Because I can be a business expert. I don't really want to be that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be an expert in the business of God. That's what I want to be an expert in. So that when I'm navigating and I'm moving, I am being directed by what he says. Yeah. Right. So then now the level of faith that I have now that I can do all these things is because I am being directed literally because I am about the business of God. Mm-hmm. And that is it. So now my focus isn't just geared towards being in business. I'm gonna be successful in business because I'm successfully pursuing the word. Yeah. Like it's gonna happen that way.
And see, I know for the majority of my life, I ain't thought like that.
I don't think a lot of people have.
I ain't thought like that.
I don't think a lot of people have. Yeah, but that's where the freedom comes in, right? Like there is freedom in the word. So I'll be able to navigate through a system, or a situation a whole lot freer than somebody that doesn't, spend that type of time. Yeah. Right. And that's for me, this has been, such aha moments, like just on the daily, because I'm like, you really do want it to be easy out here for us.
Yeah. Because you're not grappling trying to hold everything. You're grappling trying to hold one thing, and that's his word.
And then I'm saying, I've put this out there, and now because I believe your word, and because you can't lie, and because it can't come back void, I fully expect, this project on this property to go the way that I needed to go, right? I fully expect that, new property is going to be ready to go, right? Like I just now have a full expectation that his word is coming back to me so swiftly because my faith level in what he said is through the roof. Yeah. So I don't even have, just like today, as I have like this one split moment in the same second, it's coming back to me to say, don't waste my talents. He's reminding me of his word, right? And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's how this works, right? You know what I'm saying? You just listen and obey. Listen and obey. As long as you do that, I don't really see how there's too many twists and turns, right? To where it is.
It's a lot of them.
It could be if you
do what you're saying.
If you do what God is saying, I don't really see it as being difficult. I don't really see that. Maybe, hey, y'all caught in the comments. I don't know if y'all listening or driving or what, but do you agree? Do you disagree? I find it a whole lot easier when I'm navigating God's plan versus my own.
No, I'm sure it's easier, but the part is really giving in to it.
The surrender is the difficult part.
Because we have our own intellectual capacity in which we tend to lean on because society has said, go to school and hey, learn how to do this. You know what I mean? And to some degree, you still have to know how to do something. It's not like you like, hey, you know, I got the property. God send me the electrician. God send me the plumber. God send, you know what I'm saying? Like you may say that, but you still take an action to, you know what I'm saying, to make contact with them. You know what I'm saying?
I know how to Google.
Right. So that's still
I know how to ask, reputable people in the industry for references.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So
and I'm saying that those sound like simple things, but those are the very things that most people would negate in when they say, I don't know how to start a business, but everybody's business. It don't make sense to me.
Hold on.
You know what I'm saying? Like you'll say, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Well, I want to, start my own, baking business or whatever, but I don't know nothing about business. Well, I'll give a first and last name, and now they done gave down, you know what I'm saying, they whole lineage because all their business. And so I'm saying if you have the ability to do that, then you have the ability to open the business. It's just that your mindset, right, is in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And the way you get it out of there is you know what I'm saying, you go to God's word, right? And do better that way, right? Like go God's way with it.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Ron was saying, remember Joseph and Daniel prospered in captivity. How much more should we as free people? But they were locked in.
We sit here and use it because somebody can use that excuse and say, I'm locked up.
Yeah, they was on.
I believe that the only place that you can legitimately be locked up is in your mind. Not
that's it.
And nowhere else, and that's the whole point, of the conversation is that the guy that had the one talent locked up in his mind said, this all I got, let me bury it.
Yep.
If I only had the one, especially in the headspace that I'm in now, I'm going to say, let me figure out how I can make this 1 2.
Right.
And then after I get 2, let me see if I can change the 2 to 4. And then let me see if I can change the 4 to 16.
Oh, she skipped 8 and everything.
Is my math all? 4 times 4 is 16, right?
Yeah.
And God, he commanded us in Genesis to multiply. So why would I add 2 to 4? You know what I'm saying? Come on, somebody. But that's the whole point, right? Everything is word related. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so this man didn't go try to figure out how to make his talent to 2. He didn't try to multiply it. And then but the other people did. They said, I got 5 talents. I'm gonna come back with 10.
Yeah.
They multiplied it, and I'm like, if we could just get in the headspace that's what we were called and commanded to do. Whatever I have in my hand, I'm saying I'm going to multiply it. Yeah. It doesn't matter what God gives me today, tomorrow, or the next day. I've been commanded to multiply that thing in a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have to be a representation, right? So if we're in business, I'm just asking, how are you multiplying, right? Like what use are you putting for your talents? It ain't just having kids.
No, it ain't. It ain't that. Cause that I'm talking about, man. Yeah, that may not pay off for a while.
I just, I just pray that the people start to multiply. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't think that burying the talents are pleasing, to God, especially, after the download that I got today. It was very swift, and I immediately understood the assignment.
Yeah.
I heard what it means, but I still don't clearly understand what it means. But as it relates to my talents, I'm gonna stand on business.
You gonna stand on business?
Stand on business.
Stand on the word.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is that when you go back to that story in the Bible and you see, that these other people successfully multiplied their talents, and then God was so displeased that he removed even the one. I don't know why that fella only got one.
I don't know either, but he took the one he had.
Right. And, I'm sure, obviously, with it being a parable, that was the whole point, is that if we can reflect, if at any time that we do comparison, this would be the time. And we look at that and we say, have I been the person with the one talent? And if you have, okay, well, first step, let's repent. You know what I'm saying? Let's get ourselves out of that situation. All right. And then let's start asking the questions. How then are we to utilize the talents that we have access to? And what does that look like? And if you're not sure what that looks like, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is to turn off all of the noise of the negativity that you're hearing in your head. Right. Because we know how to do all things. We have figured out how to do all things that are not serving us well. We have figured those out. And so if you could use that same energy and time and attention to the things that will serve us well, I truly believe that you're going to hear what you're supposed to do with that particular talent, and if you have 2 talents and you still holding on to them because you like, these my last $2, I'm not gonna lose. Listen,
but this ain't the song.
I'm not. I'm not. But if you only have 2, don't think that if I give one away that, what I'm saying, it's not going to work well. What you focus on is what you get.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I'm going to always be of the mindset, that if I only have 1 talent or 2 talents or what you feel like is a small amount of something, if you only focus on that small amount, that's all you're going to have, but I'm looking at those small amounts as seeds, right? And we all know that a seed can have, 100 trees in it.
Yeah.
A seed can have 100 trees in it. And so if you look at your small, right, the thing you should be saying is, I'm holding in my hand hundreds of trees. I need to plant them somewhere so they can grow, right? Not holding them in my hand and hiding them from other people so that they can't see. You need to say, I have these seeds in my hand. I need to plant them somewhere so that they can grow. Where should I plant them?
Anybody can count the number of seeds in an apple, but nobody can count the number of apples that's in that seed.
You cannot. You cannot. But the only way that you can find out how many apples are in there
is planted.
Is you have to let it go.
Crazy.
You have to let it go.
And even if it's big for you, because Rodney just mentioned that he was like, you guys had 1 talent at one time, then you did the wealth empowerment.
Sure did.
And we spent our own money on that.
That was our talent.
It was like $8,000. That was a lot of money. That was a lot of money for us.
Yeah.
But we wanted it to happen. We wanted to make
it happen. We wanted to see how many apples
was
in our seed.
So we planted it.
And so we planted it, and there's a lot that happens in that process, people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at yourself as that seed, I get it. In the surrendering process of all of what we're, explaining, it might be a lot to take in, because as an entrepreneur, the first thing you want to rely on is yourself, or in your little business, or in your little employees, or your bottom line, your P&Ls. I don't care about no P or no L. I care about what the Lord said. Do you hear me? And most people are not going to, want to say things like that, but I'm trusting and believing that if he told me to do something and I'm navigating in that direction, he's going to sustain that.
Yeah.
But if you look at yourself as the seed, you don't know how many, apples, can sprout out of you. You don't know what you have access to be able to do, but I can most guarantee you, if you don't take the first step and actually do what he said do, then you don't go through the process of that seed becoming a tree. And it takes time for, things like that to happen. But I'm just letting you know that the first phase of that is surrendering the seed. The seed legitimately has to die in this process. And so this man that didn't want to give up his talent, right? He didn't want to go and he buried it. He ain't planted.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's a completely different situation. But if you would give yourself over in that process of saying, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? What, investments am I supposed to be making? What collaborations and partnerships am I supposed to be doing? If you're not willing to open up to that process, you don't get to see how many apples are in there.
Right.
You do not get to see.
It's a seed.
I am just telling you that not only do I want to see the apples, but I want to see, I want to see the full forest of trees.
And the reality of it, in nature, seeds have a shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
They're not always good.
No.
But if you plant it
in the right season,
then it's going to continue to produce fruit year after year.
Because seed time and harvest is in the Bible.
And it's going to be as long as the earth shall remain, right? But that is, man, that's crazy, because a seed can go bad.
Mm-hmm.
A seed can go bad, but if you plant it,
I got some seeds in that you had planted that I had bought. And
I know it got to wait for the right season.
Okay.
Got to wait.
What time of year? Is it springtime? You have to plant?
Yeah, but I'm gonna plant it probably in February. I'm gonna put it in a pot in February.
Okay.
And then let it start.
Well, you brought it up, so I just wanted to let you know that I had some seeds that I had bought that I wanted to plant. Okay. But back to the story.
I know.
The point of the matter is, you got to plant, what you do have.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to watch it grow. It really is. It's beautiful to be in the process of it. And to just, watch this stuff like happen real time, because, we're meditating on the word, we're speaking the word, we're believing the word, and it's coming without sorrow. And I'm just encouraging anybody that's, that's watching tonight, I'm talking about cricket quiet in the comments. A shout out to Rodney Strong in the Lord that's commenting for us tonight. We see y'all on here, but y'all just like, but I'm just challenging you, to participate, in that level of growth, right? To where, if you want your business to thrive, if you want your relationships to thrive, right? Like you have to plant those type of seeds. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to harvest, you have to plant that type of seed. And so it'd be foolish, to sit around and talk about how you want to thrive in business, or you want to be an entrepreneur, or you want, a thriving relationship, or whatever the case may be, and you're not planting any seeds that's going to produce that type of fruit. It just doesn't make sense, And so if God had given orders to do real estate, and I do no real estate, but still expect
real estate
to be a real estate investor, it just doesn't make sense. But you have to follow the first instruction. That's the easiest and only step that I can give for you tonight. You know what I'm saying? You follow the first instruction. And the next ones will come, but don't be expecting, full on clarity for the entire picture, because absolutely no way would you plant an apple seed tonight and expect to wake up in the morning and see the full tree. It's just foolish.
It just don't work like that.
It doesn't. Well, I think it was pretty decent for tonight. When I first come back from 3 weeks. First time back. Oh man. Are we not gonna get to do a podcast next week?
It's gonna be a little sketch because you travel, I travel.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do love and business, man.
It might be.
AV said she needed this. Well, praise the Lord. At least, you know what I'm saying, y'all still here. We thought y'all had left us. I mean, we saw y'all still hanging on over. They can tell us people watching us, but unless you comment, then we don't know if you actively watching or no. But yeah, man, we hope that this has been beneficial for you guys. I don't know. It may be another week or so before we can come back, because we got travel coming up next week. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. But it was good to see y'all, if nothing else. It's been good.
Absolutely. And we'll keep trying to, be the best parents and all that we can be.
I can guarantee you what, when we come back, we won't have no minivan. That's for sure.
That might be a Christmas present. Get a minivan with a bow on it, put it out there in the front. Have the people deliver it on Christmas morning,
I'm just letting you know right now. I'm going to stick a return to sender.
Can it be blue?
On that minivan. It can
be blue
I don't want a minivan. Never. Jesus.
What if the Lord say?
AB says she's been sitting on God's gifts. Well, get up off your butt and go out and do the work.
And be about your Father's business.
That's it, man. I'm just saying that it's time out for us to, be just sitting back, and then folks be having the nerve to take off at the end of the year like they done something all year. Y'all ain't done nothing. Don't take off. Go to work. Do what you got to do. What you ain't been doing all year this month.
I just think it opens up. It opens up so many doors we just don't know, what they lead to, but it'll give us what our heart really desires. It just may not be in the steps that we would have plotted, but if we just get in motion, then I think things start to happen.
Yeah, clarity comes in motion. It doesn't come sitting on your sofa or scrolling on Facebook 73% of the day. It just doesn't. The clarity comes in motion. And
I'm trying to think of what's the story in the Bible where he told a man to go down by. He told him to escape from a land and go down by the brook. Like he just told him, he'll send a raven to feed him.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's the part. Like we'll be like, hey, what you want me to do next now? What you want me to do? Think about when he told a man to spit and and put the mud on his eyes, and then he was no longer blind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like who would have did that, or go dip in the river 7 times or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a nasty river, man.
Yeah, but I think that's the part is God is teaching us in that process to trust Him more.
To trust Him, right?
And if we don't go through the first step, we won't even get to see what's behind door number 2,
exactly,
and door number 3, and door number 4. And so I just thought it was super cool, because as I was going through today, and with the property that we just got, obviously it's worth way more than what we're gonna have to pay for it. And so I'm listening through, like all of these strategies or whatever. And it was like, if I had never put in the offer, I wouldn't have got the thought process of the the second and the third strategy that came behind that. Strategy number 2, oh, this property, with the equity that it has, that equity can now pay for renovations for this property or that property, right? But none of that stuff would have came if we don't make step number 1 to just say, I'm gonna put in the offer.
Right.
I'm not afraid to put in the offer, even though we just
put it. And the truth be told, I wanted to offer $15,000 more than what we got it for.
Oh, I wasn't gonna go for that.
I wanted to offer $15,000 more than what we got it for. So I'll tell you this: you make your money on the way in, on how much you purchase it for, not necessarily on the way out. You know what I mean? You make some money that way. But this is a whole. You're right. But you make your money on how you purchase it. From the jump street. But I wanted to. But
I was listening.
Fear led me to be like, you know what? No, let's just go ahead and just.
Well, you said it, and then I said, absolutely not. That's what I said on the phone call. I said, absolutely not. That ain't the number I heard.
Because you can work your way up, but it's hard to work your way back down.
No, that's why I think it's what I'm saying, it's important to listen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's important to listen and be in those spaces where you build your faith so that when you in the game, you're not no type of way stretched, to think, okay, well, let me act this way because this person may act this way. No, I'm doing this because I'm confident in the instructions that I was given.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
No, that's what's up, y'all. Hey, y'all be sure to donate to the cause, please. Let's
Christmas Cold Plunge Challenge.
Let's
I did put the links in the
let's be a blessing to someone else.
I think I did.
Blessed to be a blessing. This should be our heart's posture.
Yeah.
To be a blessing to others. So please donate to the cause. Share it, please. Share it. Somebody else may not be connected to us, but they may be connected to you, and that can always be a great way for them to be a blessing to somebody else, right?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna put in the comments one more time for those that do want to donate. I'm just asking whether it's $1, $2, $3, $4, $100, $1,000, whatever you can give. I'm asking that you do that, and you guys be a blessing. So we are gonna be out of here. And we'll see you when we see you. I wish we could say we'll see you next week, but I really don't think we're gonna be able to see you next week. But we'll be back at some point, hopefully before the end of 2023, with at least one more podcast.
Yeah.
And then we'll start out 2024 strong, prayerfully.
Let's do it
on a Thursday night.
All right. Be blessed, good people.
Yep. See y'all.